It's that time again. The new stage is now set, so let the party begin. Everybody knows the name of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go Cowboys.
Hello everybody and welcome into another edition of the Cowboys Fan Show. As always, I'm your host, Tyler Ortega, joined by my co-host, Scott Jeter. So Scott, we've been gone for a couple of weeks, and in those 2 weeks, the Dallas Cowboys have rolled 2 divisional opponents in a row. I think we might have to take the rest of the season
I was
off.
going to say, I almost didn't show up tonight on purpose, Tyler. I'm pretty sure it's us.
So we were in the Meadowlands this last weekend, taking on the G-Men up in cold, snowy New York. Let's have a look at that game here in the film room. This one, Scott, this was an interesting game to watch. Not a whole lot going on for probably, about the first 45, 50 minutes? And then it was just an explosion.
Yeah, and I would actually disagree, and I was texting you throughout this entire game, is that, what we were doing was we were breaking down this defense, and that's what we do as an offense. Right here, we got 240-pound Dak back there, Alfred Morris, Rod Smith. We were running well and early in this game. Alfred Morris looked like a champ.
Alfred did, and Rod Smith had himself a day as well. Here's the play action to Morris. Dak rifles it in, hits Terrence Williams in the hands. Yeah, couple of, pan hands, I'd say, in the first half as far as the Cowboys receivers go.
Yeah, we weren't doing any favors for Dak in that first half right there. And here's Eli Manning getting his first start since last week.
Yeah, the infamous Iron Man streak of Eli Manning snapped by one Ben McAdoo.
Starting over at 1.
That's another conversation for another day. I don't feel any remorse for Eli. But anyways, I digress. Here we go, 3-3. Switzer gets the kickoff, and he's going to set the Cowboys up with some pretty nice field position here, starting at the 30, very early here in quarter number 2. The Cowboys going to go with a play action pass. Dak Prescott eats the shot, but still delivers it right on the dot to James Hanna. That's a first down.
James Hanna, good old number 84. He's literally on this team just to block people during the running game, and I mean, that was a fantastic catch, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. And here on the other side now, here come the Giants picking up the first down here with about 5 minutes and some change left in quarter number 1. There you said it. There's Eli Manning, the 2-time Super Bowl champion. He stays in the pocket and takes a shot, completes the pass. Evan Ingram led the Giants in receiving in this one, 54 yards on 4 catches. Really the only option that Eli's got.
35 yards on that one right there, and honestly, we just got beat on a blitz on that one. Eli caught the open man. He should have actually, that was Heath on that one. He should have rolled over and given some help on that. But yeah, broken coverage, 35-yard gain. Ends up with this year's score right there, Tyler.
Yeah, so the Giants would go up 10-3. Now keep an eye on that scoreboard because one team's point total is going to increase while the other stays the same. There goes number 88, trade Dez Bryant, ladies and gentlemen.
Trade Dez Bryant, guys, absolutely right.
Dez Bryant is no longer a number 1 receiver. He has lost it. Trade Dez Bryant. Throw up the X one time.
Well, maybe we should put him a running back then, because, I mean, right there, all he does is shrug off a tackle and goes the rest for 6. I mean, Dez Bryant, still big, still powerful. We saw it last week, getting up, going over receivers. This right here, breaking the one tackle he's got to break, and that's what's going to happen when you leave Dez Bryant one-on-one. Every time.
Yeah, he's just an animal. Look at that. He shrugs Janoris Jenkins off like a tick on his back. Get off me. I'm going for 6. 10-10. Here we go. Just out of the half now. The Giants are on offense. Eli hands off. Running back's going to pick up about 12 yards. There's a running back by committee there for New York in that game between Vereen, Darkwa, as well as Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, and honestly, I was a little worried about that. I had some concerns about the D-line because they did run a little more effectively than I thought they were going to be able to.
This play right here, Scott, I know who this play reminds you of. So I gotta say it. Little Mr. Tony there, spinning out of a sack and completing it for the first down. And here goes Dak Prescott again, a couple of plays later, finding Dez Bryant for the first down. Dez led Dallas in receiving, had 30 catches for 73 yards and the 1 score. Hashtag trade Dez Bryant.
Yeah, and a touchdown. That's 2 weeks in a row. Going for 3.
Trade Dez Bryant.
Trade Dez Bryant.
Trade him.
Why?
There's Rod Smith picking up the first down there for the Dallas Cowboys. Rod Smith would have 2 touchdowns now. As I said, keep an eye on that scoreboard, especially here. Things are going to start going our way, we'll say. There's the stop in the backfield. Gallman, the general, Sean Lee, he's finally back.
Miss that guy. You just can't run plays like that. I mean, it changes the entire setup of this defense.
And the Bees here on a 3rd and short, catches a pass out in the flat. This is a huge chunk of yardage that's going to set up a Jason Witten touchdown. coming right up, actually. And as I said, Cowboys just
and what I'd like to touch on that one is Dez really opened up the Bees, in my opinion, on that. And I mean, watch, guys. Beasley's been double covered all year long. He's not catching anything. The one time they leave him one-on-one. And why? Because they realize they have to, because Dez Bryant's still on that outside. Goes for a good game.
Yeah, and there's the ensuing play that I was telling you about. Jason Witten catching the touchdown there. You know the Cowboys fans up in New York are representing. About 7 minutes and change left in the ball game here. The Giants trying to keep this one going. 3rd and short. They'll hand off. Picking up the first down there is Wayne Gallman. He led the Giants in rushing, 12 carries for 59 yards. He also had 7 catches, Scott, for 40 yards. Not a bad day.
No, not at all, actually. As I touched on earlier, they did run the ball a little more effectively than I would have thought that they were going to be able to on our defense. I thought our D-line was going to do some good here, but again, David Irving was out for this game, so we're missing our big powerhouse tackle in the middle there. Yeah,
and how about that coverage there from the defensive back, the young defensive back, Professor Xavier, standing tall on 3rd and short, and this is going to lead to this. Rod Smith, the brother of Jalen Smith, the Cowboys linebacker, he's gone, Scott, and I was loving this until I realized the guy I was playing in the first round of the playoffs had Rod Smith.
Oh, man. And that was my whole thing, is I'm rooting for Rod Smith like crazy, but I started Alfred Morris because who knew?
What can you do?
Fact of the matter is that you yourself have been talking about this for weeks now, Tyler. You love what Rod Smith brings to the element of the offense.
He's just so versatile. I mean, Alfred Morris is not capable of doing
Clearly
this.
a better receiver than Alfred Morris.
Yeah, he does not have the breakaway speed of one Rod Smith, or the hands, I'd say.
No, he doesn't have the hands.
Morris is a good pass catcher.
And that's a big man who beat everybody for, I mean, how many yards was that one, Tyler?
At least 70. I know he had well over 100
touchdown
yards.
catch, and he's out there outrunning D-backs.
Yeah, that's a running back, ladies and gentlemen. He finished up with 5 catches, 113 yards, that 1 touchdown. On the ground, he also carried it 6 times for 47 yards. And also a touchdown. But here he is, General Lee, doing only what Sean Wick can do.
Yeah.
And he's coming up big.
No, absolutely. We miss this guy. We all knew we missed this guy, but we didn't know how much until he actually steps on the field. And there's not a bad play that runs his way ever. He doesn't miss opportunities. The ball pops up in the air around the general. It's going to number 50 every time. The guy is just all over the place. He's fantastic. I read something that said that he and Anthony Hitchens had combined for 12 tackles on the day. Through midway through the first half? Yeah. I mean, come on. Sean Lee is an animal. We miss the guy. And we closed this game out because of the guy.
Yeah, and at that point, it was 23-10. As I said, the Cowboys would go on and add another touchdown on the ground, that one by way of Rod Smith once again. So the Dallas Cowboys are victorious over the New York Football Giants by a score of 30-10. Don't lie and tell me you saw that coming.
You know, I didn't see it coming, but I mean, what makes me really happy about this game is, yeah, it's a divisional opponent. We're still in it for the playoffs, but I mean, this is the Giants, and this was their Super Bowl, and we went into their house and we handed them the L. It makes me smile every time, Tyler.
We're going to get to a little bit more in depth in this game here in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, you're watching the Cowboys Fan Show.
Let's go, Cowboys!